today on Divorce Court.
Me and Eddie were dating for only 6 months before we got married, and now my Prince Charming has turned into a frog. Eddie calls me names. He's very rude, very arrogant, and a very selfish, self-centered person.
All she does is spend my money on lottery tickets. I want her to change the way she is as a wife, a mother, and an overall figure to our children.
Eddie is very jealous of my daughter and acts as if he can't stand her, and I can't take it anymore.
She treats her daughter better than she treats my kids, and I just want them to be treated equally. I want the judge to get through to her so we can continue this marriage and raise our kids together.
Now that I'm pregnant, I'm starting to see things a little more clear. If Eddie doesn't change, our marriage is over.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Crystal Bothy and Edward Bothy. The two of you have been married for 1 year. Mr. and Mrs. Bothy have come here to get my help because 1 year in, they're already in trouble. So I'm going to start with you, Ms. Bothy. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why you're in trouble now?
Well, Your Honor, me and Eddie, we got married after only being together for 6 months. And we got married and we had a secret marriage that we didn't tell our family or friends or anyone about.
Why?
We were so in love. We wanted to get married right then. We didn't want to wait, and we knew they wouldn't approve. They would want us to wait for a wedding and all this, and we got legally married.
You just knew it was right.
Yep.
And here you are, 12 months later. But go ahead. I just want everybody to see the juxtaposition there. Ms. Bothy, go ahead. So you got married secretly after 6 months. Take it from there.
We got married in July, and we later had a wedding in November, which we had our family and friends there for that. Before that wedding ever happened, my parents found out we were married. So they were heartbroken.
Well, Mr. Bothy, what do you see as the main problem that you two have?
When I married her, what I expected out of a wife, my mother, my mother raised me and my two sisters as a single mother. She was the sole provider. She did the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning. She did everything by herself. And when I married Crystal, that's what I was looking for in a wife. I go to work 70 hours a week, 7 days a week. I take care of the bills as I expected her to take care of the role at the house.
And she's failing in that regard.
In every way.
Why don't you explain to me what she's not doing well?
For instance, I come home, we'll have dinner from the night before. The dishes will still be on there with food in them. She's downstairs. The laundry room's 5 feet away from her. She don't do the laundry. Like, the house is just a mess. The kids had tore it up, and it's like she just don't care, don't give any regards to anything.
Even when I do, he doesn't pay attention or acknowledge anything I do. Your Honor, I can have the entire house clean, have the kids ready, have dinner made, everything, and he'll walk in the door, "Hi, honey, how was your day at work?" He will ignore me, call me a name, walk past me and say, "Why is there toys all over the yard?"
Okay.
Or
now your opening phrase, "even when I do," indicates to me that you don't always do.
Yeah, I don't always.
That he has a legitimate complaint in that department. Would you agree on that one small point?
Yes,
Okay.
because why would I want to do something and make sure all these things are taken care of when it's never good enough? Nothing is ever good enough for this man. Nothing.
He complains about everything, even though it's done.
Everything. He complains about everything. He calls me names nonstop. He's very jealous of my daughter. He's kind of mean to her.
And let's get that cleared up at first. There are several kids in this relationship. You have a daughter from a previous relationship,
yes.
correct?
Yes, I do.
And you have
5 children from
5 children from previous relationships.
Who I care for.
Do they live with you, or do they live with their various
2.
mothers?
I got full custody of 2 of them, and the other 3 live with their mothers.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bothy, is she correct about the manner in which you speak to her?
Yeah, to some extent.
To some extent.
What brings you to the point that you can call your wife, the woman that you love, such disrespectful names?
Really, I think it's, my job I do is I work out in the heat 10 hours a day, 70 hours a week. And, the sun will do things to people. And
so you just cranky and taking it out on her, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, but things have been going downhill for so long now that, I just don't.
What's going downhill? When did things start to go badly?
I'd say probably about 6 months ago. I just was fed up with, working all the time, paying all the bills, and coming home to her not doing nothing, and just everything, the house being dirty, and just everything in general in the household.
So generally, that's your complaint, that she's not holding up her end of the bargain.
Exactly.
Okay. Are there any issues with respect to the blended family and the parenting of the children?
We don't agree on a lot of things when it comes, to our children. Like I said, before I got married to Eddie, it's just me and my little girl. It was always just me and her. So when we got married, he said, she needs to be in her room, sleep in her room. Don't come in here in the middle of the night. Put her in there, let her cry. Like, no adjustments whatsoever. Just, this needs to happen. Or I'm sleeping upstairs, and he would start sleeping in other rooms of the house because I'm working with her, trying to get her to sleep in a room, but it was taking a little bit of time. It wasn't something that was going to change.
It's a big adjustment, and
Exactly.
and you need to deal with it. Mr. Bothy, what is your point of view with respect to whatever conflict you have with respect to the children?
Well, I felt like my kids get treated differently than her daughter because it has been her and her daughter the whole time. One day we was at her mom's house, and my daughter had went in the freezer and got a cup of chocolate ice cream, and her daughter only eats specific things, and nothing else. And when she noticed that my daughter had got it and her mother told her she could have it already, she yelled at her, told her to put it back, that was the only thing she would eat, and that, they were $5 a bag for this and that. And I told him, it's fine, just put it back, and, Daddy will take you and your brother to go get your own ice cream, and we won't worry about it no more.
Is that a consistent thing? I mean,
she's
a consistent way in which she proceeds with with your children?
Most of the time, yeah. She, like I said, her daughter only eats specific things, so she tries to keep specific things in the household for her that, she'd rather my kids not eat all of because her daughter won't eat nothing else. Like, if we cook a dinner or I cook a dinner and we all sit down and eat it, like, her daughter's not eating what we eat. She's going to eat whatever.
Okay. I understand what both of you are saying. I got a fix for that, at least.
I don't have no friends. I don't hang out with nobody. I don't go nowhere. I'm with our children 24/7. If I even thought about going to the mall with one of my friends, I would be every name in the book. He wouldn't speak to me for 3 days. It would just be terrible.
Do you have a problem if she socializes with others? I think the fix for that problem is relatively simple. I'm sure you disagree about what happened. You probably didn't yell at them and all that kind of stuff. You just asked to accommodate the situation. Here's what people do wrong when they blend families. They put them all in the same house and they don't discuss logistics. You don't discuss, well, look, these are the things that we're used to doing. Children are required to adjust. It's a huge adjustment for them. They didn't pick you. They didn't pick you. You just threw them in the house and all of a sudden expected that everybody's going to obey somebody's rules or somebody else's rules. You have to sit down with them and talk to them about, now that this is happening, we're going to have to change this. And you also have to accommodate little people's needs to adjust slowly to a circumstance as opposed to new dude, new chick, new rules, get on it.
This man
you have to respect that. Both of you. What?
This man thinks I think when you are in a marriage, it's not like, a light bulb, you just throw it away and go get a new one. You fix it. But he is so disrespectful to me. I don't think that'll ever change, Your Honor.
You seem to get over the top about small things, and I want to know, is that just with her, or are you just a hothead in general?
Yes.
I'm short-tempered, yeah, I'll admit it. And, things, like I said, things have been going downhill already, so any little thing would set me off, no matter what it was. That was the
start of it. Things just started happening like that, who drove us from not being so close with one another.
Okay. Well, you said things are going downhill. One of them you said was you're upset with the way in which she spends money. Why don't you tell me what she's doing with the money?
She likes to buy lottery tickets or go to the casino. That was something she was doing before we met. And so, like I said, I got about $330 worth of lottery tickets right here. That's
a lot of lotto.
I spent $3 on those tickets, Your Honor.
There's $10 ones, up to $20 ones, and they're all losers. And I'm the one going to work, working hard for that money.
But I don't spend his money, only my money. So it's not like I'm spending anything that belongs to him. I babysit 2 children every week and stay home and care for our other 3 kids. I like to play them. I don't have no friends. I don't hang out with nobody. I don't go nowhere. I'm with our children 24/7. If I even thought about going to the mall with one of my friends, I would be every name in the book. He wouldn't speak to me for 3 days. It would just be terrible.
Do you have a problem if she socializes with others?
Not really. That's probably one of our problems is we spend too much time together. We probably need to start spending. What is the same there? If
he goes out when he wants. He gets up and leaves and don't tell me where he's going. He won't answer calls, texts. Call home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and if I ask where he's been, refuse to tell me, will not tell me. The next day, still won't tell me. He hides his phone nonstop. He has a key guard lock on it. I'm not allowed to know the code. Ask this married man why he's not wearing his wedding ring, because I'll tell you one thing, Your Honor. This has not left my finger since the day I said I do. He, every single day, calls me names. He puts me down. I could walk past him or him walk in the door and say, hi, honey, how was your day? Worse now that I'm here with you. I'll probably wish I could go back to work.
Did you ever say that? Let me just make clear the timeline of what occurred. You guys got married quickly. You already had, between the two of you, 6 kids. Then you were blending 3 kids, and now you got another one on the way.
Yes, I'm actually pregnant.
Can you explain that logic to me? Because to me, the relationship went downhill almost right after you said I do. Is that accurate?
It was several months later. It was probably right after I got pregnant, Your Honor. Honestly, like, we had some issues, you know, and sometimes we were able to work them out with just ending it, never speaking of it again, him never apologizing, even when he's in the wrong.
Mr. Bothy, do you agree with that, or do you think that things were problematic before then?
Well, when she found out I was pregnant, it was kind of, you know, just all of a sudden, we didn't know. So we were already having our problems and trying to work them out. And I wouldn't say it was because she got pregnant that everything went downhill, but, I mean, I was trying to work through my own demons. And
let me ask you this, Mr. Bothy. If there was one thing that I could get you to do, get her to change, that would change your attitude and feeling about the future and the value of this marriage, what would it be?
That if she's going to be a stay-at-home wife, she's going to do what a stay-at-home wife does. That's take care of the kids, do the laundry, do the cleaning, do the dishes, just the daily household things that a stay-at-home, that a wife that's not providing financially anything.
I got you. Ms. Bothy, why doesn't that happen more often? Because you admitted that you don't do it all the time.
Yeah, I don't. I do, like, slack off some days, you know. Like I said, he every single day calls me names. He puts me down. He's kind of put me in a little bit of a depression. And other days, I take the kids, I'm gone all day. We're swimming. We're at the zoo. I'm very active with the children. And, you know, I'm not home, so I might not clean before I leave and make sure I'm home in time right before he gets there to make sure everything's done.
When he started calling you names, what was he angry about? Was he angry about the wifely duties, or was he just a cranky dude?
Nothing. I could walk past him or him walk in the door and say, hi, honey, how was your day? Worse now that I'm here with you. I'll probably wish I could go back to work.
Did you ever say that?
Every day.
Yeah,
all
you did
the time.
say that.
All the
I
time.
wouldn't say
He would rather be at
every
work
day.
than home with his
There's
family.
got to be something other than the cleaning and the cooking. What is it?
Nothing. He's arrogant, selfish, and rude.
Well, maybe one problem he's got is that you talk too much and
Yeah,
you
I
never
do
let
that.
him finish a sentence. Yeah. That could be an issue that he has. I'm just a guessing right there. Yeah. But Mr. Bothy, can you figure out what it is you're so angry about? Because I'm not altogether sure you know.
I mean, it's not only the household stuff, but I mean, she could get a part-time job where she could help financially, maybe 2-3 days a week. Like she says, it's babysitting stuff.
Do you feel crushed economically because you're taking care of 6 kids?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, my financial stuff every month is about $2,100. Yeah.
Do you believe that you might be taking out the stress and concern that you have about what is clearly a heavy economic burden on her inappropriately simply because she's right there?
To an extent, yes, I do. But like I said, most of it comes from the stuff that she doesn't do.
No, no. The housekeeping and all of that is the only thing that you can point to and blame on her. So that's what you keep talking about, because the house cleaning shouldn't inspire the level of anger that she elicits from you. But that's the excuse that you use. I think you're under a lot of pressure. I think you haven't, and you're not coping with it in a manner that allows your marriage to support it, as opposed to fall apart under the weight of it. You with me?
I am.
Ms. Bothy, I already asked him what was the one thing that you could do to make this thing a more accommodating union. He said cooking and cleaning. I don't think that that's what his problem is, and I'm going to discuss that with him later on. But I want to give you the same opportunity. What one thing would you need from him in order for you to be comfortable in this union?
The number one thing would be for him to be respectful to me. He's very disrespectful to me, very disrespectful. He can't even have one conversation to me without calling me names or putting me down or telling me what a horrible person I am.
Mr. Bothy, you have a lot of kids by 4 different women?
Yeah.
Women with whom you didn't maintain relationships. Do you think you might have a problem with the way you treat the women in your life? Have you heard similar complaints before about being rude and calling names and angry and hot-headed? Any of this ring familiar?
Not really, Your Honor.
They've told me stories.
Oh, you
Let's
know.
just
Stories.
say
Oh,
he's not
listen,
admitting it.
That's
Listen,
a story.
Ms. Bothy,
I can tell you stories all day long.
Yeah, oh, listen, I've been in this chair so long, I know what's happening. I know what's going on. I know what the problem is. Mr. Bothy, the problem is you. And let me tell you why it's you. And then let me tell you what you can do about it, because it ain't that deep. I think you're a good guy. I think you really love this woman. I think that you're a hard worker. I think that you're probably a very good father. But what I don't think you understand is how to be a husband. A husband is a person who has on his list of duties, I must make the people in my home comfortable, cared for, safe, and secure. And you don't do that. Once you make the money, you think all bets are off. You can act any way you want to because you're stressed. And what I'm trying to tell you is this. You're putting your stress on her. You should have her help you with your stress. Come in like a grown person. Baby, I feel like the world is collapsing on my shoulder. You speak to her. You don't blame her. You made all of those child support obligations.
I tried to
She
explain
did
to her.
not. The response to someone not hearing how you speak is not to call them names, because that makes it definitive. She'll never hear you now, because all she's doing is defending herself. You're not getting what you want by the way you conduct your business. You with me? Mm-hmm. Now, Ms. Bothy, I think he can be arrogant and irritating and rude, and I think it really hurts your feelings. And I think he doesn't see how much it hurts your feelings because you kind of loud and mouthy. You need to decide that you're just not simply correct. He's wrong, but you need to change as well. Because if you want something other than what you're getting, you have to do something other than what you're doing. And I wish you two the best of luck, because you're good people in a difficult circumstance, and you got a lot of kids, and you have an opportunity to do something about it. Be serious about it and work at it. I'm going to have you talk to somebody and wish you the best of luck. This matter is adjourned.